Hi, hello, and welcome to TreeTorials. Makes it kind of sound like Jurassic Park. Welcome to Jurassic Park. To TreeTorials. This is a series where I'm going to be showing you how I build the trees that I build. That's pretty much it. All right, first thing to do is just start building up some pillars. That's pretty much it. So it's just you start with a 2x2. And then just build up as far as you want to go. I don't go all the way up to the top with all of them. I will keep these all at varying different heights. That's pretty much the first step. Next, you want to come in and just add in a few bits at the bottom. Just sort of like, these are sort of to act like, I suppose, buttressing roots, if you will. Just where it's quite a tall tree. This just kind of makes it look like there's a bit more stability to it. I mean, you can do whatever you want with these. You could do that, you could do this, what have you. Nice and simple. Next thing to do is just come in with some dark oak fences. Now this is just to sort of soften up those edges as we go up. And don't make them all the same amount of fences. I have a few different ones. Even on this one that's sticking out at a corner, put it on there because it's still like if you were to go far away, still be able to see that it's kind of curving up. And then also don't forget these ones up here. This one, slightly different. This one, you're going to go at the top, you're going to go quite high up. Say, around about there. A lot of this is sort of just guesswork, what you feel looks like a good height. And I think that looks like a good height. So we're gonna leave the fences for now, and then we're going to move to the moss blocks. Now this is quite a juxtaposing colour. But what I'm doing here is I'm just adding in a bit of moss. You want to kind of... Ooh, no, I don't like that. You can always change whatever you do. If you don't like it, just change it. What I like to do is keep it a bit heavier around the base of the tree because that's where, at least I feel like the moss would mainly be growing. But don't forget to just also have it go up the rest of the trunk a little bit. And what this is just, the way I like to see it, this is just a very, very old tree where there will be a bit of moss that has grown up the tree. And we're just going to put one there and call it there. And I think that, as I said, it's quite juxtaposing at first. It does take a lot. When you first look at it, you're like, ooh, what have I done? This doesn't look great. So the next step is to add in some vines. Now this, you're going to want to put in quite a few of these. And it's just to sort of mix the colours up. So where you've got this sort of sharp green will come in, and sharp green? Yeah, it's quite sharp green, if that's the right word. It's different from the moss, and it's obviously different from the brown because brown is not green. But what it does is like where you can see through the vine, because vines are sort of semi-transparent, if you will, because there's the gaps in the texture. You can see the brown, you can see the green, and you can see how they kind of mixed together. And that's part of the sort of the reason why we're doing this on this step. It's just so that we kind of blend these two colours together. Now I know this still looks a bit mad, and if you didn't want this to be in a swamp, I would say just get rid of the moss and maybe replace it with the stripped dark oak. Could be nice to have in as a little bit of texture here and there. I think if you wanted this to be, I'll do a second one next to it afterwards, just to kind of show the difference. I think dark oak could make it just add in a bit of texture, and you may not need the vines then after this, but this is my sort of big swamp pine tree. So the next thing is we're going back to the fence posts, and the first one to get in, the fence post, the first one to get in is there. We'll call it there, and I think that's good. Then next one down, just pick whatever sort of height you want and do a sort of figure of 8. Sort of see there's the figure of 8. And then go a few down again. And now do pick one of these to be a central point. And you want to do sort of like a cross-like shape, and I'm going to do it like this. So we're going to come out this way and then go there. So you'll see there's a big thick cross. Now you can sort of put these at any height you want, and it will look different with different heights of different bits of tree. So if you extend this bit up higher, this will look different. Or if you extend this lower and it's more spindly at the top, it's going to look different. And that's sort of part of the benefit of these trees. All right, the next thing to do is come in with the leaves. So this is just placing in a bunch of spruce leaves just around these, what are they called? Fence posts. And this one as well, because that's where a fence post would have been. And then you want to put some on top as well. If you get rid of some of your vines, that's fine. Don't worry about it. That's absolutely fine. And what we'll do is we'll put it there, so we'll have it so that is going through it, and that's sort of the desired effect there. Then underneath, just come through and put it on every sort of the outside of each block. So you don't want it to be just directly underneath. It's off to the side of it. And then after that, you just come through and add in a bit of a dangle here and there. So just have a few leaves come down and look like that. And then you want to just repeat that for each of these. So for this one and for this one. Once you've done the 3 layers of leaves, you want to come in, add in, say, 1 there, and then at the top, just add in a couple. And that right there is how I do the trees in my sort of swamp forest area in the valley in my creative world. That's how I do these trees. You can always add in an extra layer of leaves underneath, but I have been doing this for the majority of them, and it may look a bit plain and simple on its own now, but once you've got a few of these in place, it starts to make more sense. And if you get a few smaller trees in front of it, it just looks like they're these tall trees that have grown up and have their leaves just near the top, because that's where they can get the light. Because trees do that. They grow and their leaves will spread out to places and form a little canopy where they can get light, because obviously they need light to survive. You'll see I've also got some birch leaves here, and this was just something I thought I'd just try out now. Could be something that you just throw in every now and then. Break up the colour of the leaves a bit. I've not done this before, so I don't know exactly what it looks like. I think it should look good, but it's just to add in a little bit of like a highlight texture, if you will. And we'll just put it there, and that will just break up the colour of those leaves. Really, that's pretty much the only reason why I've just put those in there. But as I said, let's have a look and see what they look like with instead of the moss, the stripped oak log instead, and see how different that looks next to it. Okay. And this is what it looks like if you use sort of the stripped dark oak instead of the moss. As you can see, because this one isn't in a swamp, I've not put vines on it either. And I think this one actually looks really nice. I have forgotten to put the birch leaves in. Hang on, let me just see what this looks like on here as well. So again, we just want to sort of highlight more around the top of these. Even though these are sort of underneath the cover of the ones above, I think it'll still look pretty cool. And just kind of gives a bit more texture as well, which is always nice to work with. I always enjoy having a little bit of texture if you can. That looks pretty cool, if I do say so myself. And I think I might weirdly prefer this one, but this works perfectly for what I need it to work for. And I think the beauty of building it in this way, there is a fixed way that I put the leaves in, but because you can sort of rotate it around the trees, so this sort of fixed pattern of the figure of 8, depending on which way I orientate that, you know, and the same as this, the trees are going to look different. So the trees will always have a slight variation, and I don't pay attention to how tall I build these. This one's much taller than that one. But you can see the effect of having at least 2 next to each other. You can see, yeah, these look already better, even though these are they've got 2 different textures on them. You can see already the benefit of having multiple of these trees, and with different varying heights of leaves as well. I hope you've got something from this. I hope you like it. I'm going to be recording a couple, and I'll spread these out every now and then. But yeah, these are my trees. This is your TreeTorial. Lovejoy, over and out. Ow, my ankles.